Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Carissa and today I'm going to be explaining to you guys and kind of talking to you guys about what is the difference between an assistant versus an associate. I'm going to kind of talk to you a little bit about the associate program at my work and kind of my experience with being an associate and kind of going through the program. So it might kind of differ from salon to salon. I know that most salons that are summit salons, they will have associates in an associate program and there will be a level-based system and all of that, which I'll kind of go over here in the video. If you are just now finishing cosmetology school, or you're in cosmetology school, or even if you're curious about cosmetology school or becoming a hairstylist, this would be a great video for you. Or even if you're just interested of what is an associate program, I will talk a lot about being an associate, being in the program, kind of going through it. I don't know if you have salons near you guys or if you've ever heard of the terms associate. I posted a lot about when I was going through the associate program and how that all went down, and I posted like, you know, hey, I finished the associate program. So if any of you guys saw that and you're like, what is an associate program? Keep watching because I'm going to keep explaining all of that for you guys. If you are currently enrolled in cosmetology school and you're kind of looking for a salon, looking to get started, I really do suggest kind of going around and finding different salons. And if you hear any salons that have something called a summit system, then that will mean that you're probably going to have to go through some sort of an associate program there. So I'm going to kind of go over what all that entails for my salon. The first question that I always get asked is, what is an associate? When you hear that term, I feel like people always first want to go to an assistant, but an assistant and an associate are completely different things. One thing that we like to always say, an associate is somebody that you teach, an assistant is somebody that you use. It's not a bad thing to have an assistant. I know a lot of people who have assistants in their salons who need help, and a lot of their assistants are super grateful to be there, to even be in the salon and to help. Most of the time, just from my personal experience at least, when I hear the word assistant, that usually means that they're doing a lot of cleaning, a lot of watching, not a whole lot of actually doing hair or like hands-on work. I always feel like I hear it's more cleaning. I have personally never been an assistant. I came straight from beauty school and became an associate. I don't really know a ton about assistant work, but from what I've heard, it's not about what they can do for you, but what you can do for them. The purpose of an associate is not just to sweep up after you or to help around the salon. The purpose of an associate is actually to help grow stylists, and so they'll feel comfortable when they're out on their own. It's a lot of information. There's so much to the associate program. There's so much more than just coming in and working behind somebody. There's just so much to it. So I tried to break it down into sections for you guys, but it is still a really confusing thing to understand. It takes me a while to kind of explain it to clients, so that's why I figured sitting down and making this video so you guys can watch it at home, or when you're in my chair I can show you guys it as well. What exactly is the associate program and what exactly does it entail? One way that I always like to explain it to people is it is a master's program. It is kind of like an extension to if you were to go to college and get your bachelor's degree, and then you decided, hey, I want to go and continue my education and get my master's degree. I technically went to cosmetology school. I went there for 2 years and I did the whole program, and then I got out of cosmetology school and I completed my state board. Now I am a licensed cosmetologist in the state of Colorado. So once you have your license, you are free to basically go into any salon and start working if they hire you. You are free to kind of be on your own. You're free to start taking clients at home. If you have the right regulations, you can go and start booth renting. You can open up your own salon. There's so much you can do once you have your license. But for me, I decided I wanted to continue my education. I didn't feel like I was confident or comfortable enough to just go straight behind a chair and be by myself. I wanted to be in an environment where I was constantly learning and I could, you know, try new things and not feel embarrassed. I could practice new techniques. I wanted to learn from somebody. I feel like the only way to learn is to watch other people. I feel like this industry, there's so much to learn. There's always new things to it. It's constantly growing, and so I feel like the best way to start is to learn from somebody who's been doing hair for a while and somebody who's been kind of got their mojo, got their steps, because there's a lot to it. You have to figure out the color, you have to figure out the timing, you know, the clientele, how you want to act, branding yourself. There's just, people think that being a hairstylist stylist is just doing hair, cutting hair, but there's so much more to it, and I wanted to do more. I was lucky enough to find this associate program, which is considered a master's program, and so I got to actually come into a salon, which is a 5-star salon, and it's super beautiful. I'm so lucky to be there. If you guys ever want to come check it out. One main question that I get asked is, how long is the program? Well, the program, it is kind of up to you. You decide how fast you want to go through it. If you feel like you need more time to work with that stylist or your educators, or you're not feeling ready to be on your own, then you can use more time in the associate program. Typically, it is 6 to 9 months. I got out of it in about, I want to say 6 months. I did it pretty quickly. I felt like I could have gone the full 9 months, but I was just ready to get out. I wanted to start doing hair. I wanted to be a stylist in the salon. I was just ready for that. It's all a super you-based program. Like, you decide how fast you want to get done. You decide how much effort you want to put in. That's so, one of the greatest things about being a hairstylist is whatever you put in is what you're going to get out. We're all at home right now, and if you're just sitting at home, you know, watching videos, learning knowledge, you're gonna be a better stylist. If you are gonna take the time out of your life to go do an associate program or a master's program or some sort of an extension to your education, then you put that into yourself and you will put that out. And you're gonna get that back in return, I promise. I already know that I feel so much more confident in my work, and I feel better about how I do hair because I went through this whole long associate program. Basically, in the associate program, you will be working with a master stylist or a stylist that is usually a level 3 or 4 or higher. I'm gonna kind of explain a day in the life of an associate. When you're an associate, you will arrive 30 minutes prior to your shift and just kind of sit down, and you and your educator will kind of talk about what all are you going to be doing through the day. I worked with somebody named Trina, and we would meet every day before our shift 30 minutes early, and me and her would just kind of sit down and talk about what all of our clients would be like, what would we be doing, would I be doing highlights, foils, balayages, what would she want from me, are we double booked, are we triple booked, what does the day look like for us? After we kind of planned out our day, we'll kind of set up our station together, or I'll set up the station, the associate will kind of set up the station, then you or the stylist that you're working with will go up and greet your guests. You and your educator will do the consultation together. That means that you get to watch a full-on consultation every time, and you get to see how a stylist that's been doing consultations for years does it. It's obviously correct if it's been working, so you get to kind of learn their ways, see how they do it. After the consultation, you will then help formulate the color with your stylist or your educator, so you will kind of learn all about the color line, which is super cool, because what I was really nervous about was like, I didn't want to mix up the wrong color. I didn't want to like mess anything up. And so when you have an educator, somebody you can go to at any time and ask them, hey, are you sure this is the right color? Are you know, is this right? What do you want me to mix? And talk about it and explain it, and they can go over, why are you mixing this? Oh, that's, you know, this is why we're doing this. This is why we're doing that, versus like you're just trying to figure it out on your own. Once you and your educator have your color formulated, you will usually go back over to your guest in the chair, and then normally how me and Trina did it, and it's different for every salon, every stylist is going to be different however you want to do it, but usually you're both very hands-on. Our guests are pretty used to 2, sometimes even 3 people working on their head at a time, and so when you have an associate, you'll T-part the hair like you always would, and then the stylist or the educator will do the front sections, whereas the associate will do the back sections. That way everything is going to be complete and together, and the stylist will be watching the associate the entire time and making sure that it is done correctly. Another thing is, a lot of people are like, oh, you must not be licensed if you're working with somebody else or you're helping somebody behind a chair. You need to explain to clients, like, I am a licensed cosmetologist, I know what I'm doing, I'm just continuing my education. That's all it is you're continuing your education, and how cool is that? Sometimes what happens is that our stylists or educators are even double or triple booked, and when that happens, you will kind of work on one client, they'll work on one client. Once you finish applying the color together and that client processes, the next client usually is coming in, and then you guys will do the consultation together, you formulate together, and then sometimes, you know, your educator might have to go apply by herself, or you guys can start the application and halfway through it, you know, the associate or the educator might even stop and go rinse out her other client. So it's a lot of like back and forth, and you're doing it all. An associate isn't just gonna shampoo, an associate isn't just gonna do the back of the head always, or always style the hair. An associate does it all. You're doing everything. The only thing an associate is not doing with the stylist is cutting the hair. And the reason for that is it would be really, really hard to stylists to cut one head of hair. Usually what happens with haircuts is the educator will go ahead and do the haircut and the associate will stand and watch it the whole time. When I was an associate, I would always section out the hair, get the hair prepped and ready for my educator to come over and do her haircut, and then we would either blow dry together, or I would blow dry and she would go on to the next, or she would stay and blow dry and I would go on to the next. But it's never just one thing. I'm not gonna stand at the shampoo bowl and shampoo hair all day. I'm doing everything that a stylist is doing. I just have somebody to help me. I have somebody teaching me, walking me through it, helping me to understand it better. So it's a two-way street. You are helping them get more clients because they have 2 extra hands. So our time of application is cut in half. Our blow dry time is cut in half. You know, obviously the processing time has to take the same amount of time as always, but everything else is pretty much cut in half because you have 2 hands. So we have double the client. So then at the end of the day, when everything is done, all of your guests have left for the day, you guys will kind of clean up the station together, make sure everything is good. So then at the end of the day, we'll kind of have our little debriefing and we'll kind of sit down. You and the educator will sit down and talk about what do you need to work on, what did you learn, you know, what did your day look like, what formulas did you go over. We'll just kind of talk about everything. Basically, that is a day as an associate, but then there is a lot more to the associate than just being a day-to-day associate. Just like our stylists at our salon that have levels, the associate program also has levels. So when I was kind of talking about how fast you go through the program and I was saying how it's up to you, so there's 4 levels to the associate program. There's A1, A2, A3, and A4. So you have to go through all 4 of those levels of the program before you become a level 1 stylist or a stylist that's all on their own. For each level, you will have a certain amount of criteria of work you will have to complete. I also have a written and a practical test at the end of each level to just kind of see how you did, and I'll kind of go over each level as well. For level 1, your main focus is all over color. You'll learn how to formulate color correctly as well as good color applications. You will have a certain amount of work that you will have to get done on either a mannequin or a client that you have. You do get 1 opportunity a day to work by yourself. In order to get through A1, you will have to show your educator either pictures or videos of different skills that you've completed, whether it is different color applications, brow waxes, different blow dries. And A2, you are 2 days on your own and 3 days with your educator, so you can kind of start to build your clientele. You get time by yourself to work on mannequin work on clients, things like that. The cool thing about that is you're not going to, you know, just be with an educator. You do get days that you get to have your own clients that you get to bring people in and work on, and a lot of times it is just friends and family members, but that is how you're going to start building your clientele versus just being thrown into a salon and having to, you know, fill up 5 days a week. Now you only have 1 day as an A1, 2 days as an A2, and actually 3 days as an A3, 4 days as an A4. And once you've done that, you will be done. You'll be 5 days on your own. What's cool about that is you're not just going to get thrown in with the 5 days a week. You get to slowly build your way up to the 5 days a week. Your main focus is going to be getting your timing down so that way you can make sure you're booking your clients correctly and you're not spending all day on one client. So a lot of that time we were just doing repetitive, you know, just timing myself, making sure I was doing things in a timely manner. I'm not trying to speed through anybody's hair at all, but I'm not trying to spend 6 hours on one head that should only take me 2 hours because I'm slow. For A3, your main focus, just making sure you are comfortable and confident with your color. You're gonna start doing hair cutting and going over hair cutting a lot more in depth with your educator versus just the color and color stuff like that. So level 1, we do a lot of color and basic color. Level 2 is timing and more in-depth color. Level 3 is a lot of hair cutting and stuff like that. So like I've said before, you're not gonna actually be cutting any of your educator's clients' hair. You at this point have 3 days a week that you have your own clients that you're gonna start cutting their hair. And so it's good to start focusing on that, and you're gonna have to take pictures of your before and afters of your haircuts and show your educator your work. For A4 is the final level, so you are only 1 day now with your educator, and then the 4 days you are now by yourself. Your main focus is just perfecting your skill, getting comfortable, getting ready to be all on your own as a stylist, learning how to to build your clientele. So that is kind of the level system for the associate program. Not only will you be in the salon doing a lot of mannequin work, doing a lot of hands-on work, working with your educator and things like that, you will also have book work that you have to complete on your free time, either at home, or I used to come in early a lot to the salon or stay late, or you know, when my clients were processing, that's when I would work on my book work. A lot of it is we do book work over becoming a top 20 stylist versus a bottom 80 stylist, and wanting to be more of a career-minded stylist versus a hobby stylist or a job stylist, which are all okay. The cool thing about being a hairstylist is you can decide to just do it for fun. For me personally, I really want to be a career-minded hairstylist, and so we did a over-the-top book is what it's called, and a lot of like just, you know, stuff that was going to help me throughout my career. Even if I wasn't going to stay at the salon I was at, all of the stuff that I was learning in the book was super helpful and informational, and stuff that I want to keep with me and carry throughout my career always. Another thing that we went over is a lot of product knowledge, so we would have our product books and have to fill out questions and go over our product stuff like that, like, you know, 2 facts about this product, you know, what is cool about this product. That way, when you're in the associate program, you really are learning everything you need to know. You need to be able to answer almost any question about any product. You need to be able to recommend products to any guest that walks through the door. You need to understand all of your salon services that you offer. Me personally, I hate bookwork. I am not a bookwork fan. I would much rather do mannequin work or, you know, hands-on work versus bookwork. But I even found all of the bookwork that I did super informational, and I, you know, actually took a lot of notes on all of it and found it to be stuff that I wanted to read about. I wanted to write my answers down because it was stuff that was important. It's important information. It's information that I never got in cosmetology school, that I didn't realize, wow, I, you know, wouldn't have been able to be the stylist I am today if it weren't for this associate program and having the education and the bookwork that I did have. Another amazing thing that the associate program offers, and it's kind of it is a requirement as well, but you know, I don't know why you wouldn't want to have this, but we do educational classes all the time. It is amazing. I love it so much. I love education. I love teaching. I love having outside educators come in. I love when my stylists from my salon just get up and teach me new things. I think that is so cool. I feel like you can never stop learning when it comes to being a hairstylist and working in the hair industry. When you're in an associate program, you will have, I want to say it's either once a month or twice a month, associate and level 1 classes that are required. They are all taught by stylists in our salon. The other thing is, because we are a Redken Black Elite salon, as well as we use Hanzo, we do get educators in from Redken and Hanzo, so we get a whole bunch of outside educators, so people who travel around and teach different salons and different people. They actually come into our salon and we get to have them and work hands-on with all sorts of outside educators. It is so cool meeting different people. You know, I've met some super cool people. Recently we had Pope the Barber. I don't know if you guys know who that is, but you guys should check her out on Instagram. I will put it over there. We also do this thing called Lunch and Learns. This is a class that is open to other cosmetologists or other stylists that are out in the world that are not at our salon. You can come in and either our salon educator or someone in our salon will teach you classes and information about things that you need to know. A lot of the times our educator or girls in our salon, they will travel or go and get classes out of state or in other places, and then they will come back and teach our salon the class. And so I get a ton of education, guys. The main thing about the associate program is we are learning all the time, guys. I am constantly learning. Even right now, I'm a level 1 stylist, so I finished the associate program and I am now a level 1 stylist, and even during this quarantine, I am taking classes like every other day. I am learning constantly, and my salon is learning constantly. They're taking classes together, and it's so amazing to be with a salon that is all about education. Like I've said before, the main reason that I wanted to do an associate program is because I didn't feel comfortable or confident to be out on my own and to be my own stylist yet. So being in this program gave me the confidence that I needed to go out on my own now and to be my own stylist and to start to grow my brand and to feel comfortable, to feel confident. I absolutely loved the associate program. I would highly recommend anybody who is looking for something outside of cosmetology school, you know, something to kind of advance their education besides just going to cosmetology school. I recommend looking up a summit salon or a salon that has an associate program versus an assistant program. In order to graduate the associate program, you do have to get tested out by your educator, and then you start on your own. You become a level 1 stylist and you continue your education. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and that you guys are able to understand a little bit better what is an associate versus an assistant and what exactly did my associate program look like. You know what I'm always saying, I went through this associate program. It was about, I want to say 6 or 7 months, and I worked behind a stylist the whole time pretty much, and I just continued to grow and I continued to educate myself, and we did classes, I did bookwork, I did all of that, and I finished the associate program, and I am now a level 1 stylist. So I work completely on my own and I take clients 5 days a week. And what's great is I can ask anybody at the salon at any time for help. If I ever don't feel comfortable with what I'm doing, I know that I have other stylists here that have taught me, and I feel comfortable to go and ask them questions and have help. It's a lot to explain, honestly. There's so much. So I hope that kind of made a little bit of sense. I know it's confusing. It's kind of all over this place. I've honestly been recording for like an hour or so. I've been losing my voice this whole time. It's going right now as we're speaking. If you guys have any questions about, you know, what was the associate program, how can you get in the associate program, and what does that look like exactly for you in your city and state, go ahead and leave me a comment down below and I can try and help you guys out with any of that stuff as well. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below,
and I'll see you guys next time.